Well, it is football time in college football, and we have just finished up week 3 games. Some teams had week 4, but most of the teams out there had week 3. And we had done our picks last week, and I think we were kind of off on a lot of them because there was some major
I don't think we
disappointments.
got a single pick score correct.
I don't think so either. I think we
No.
were completely off. I think we're so far off it wasn't even funny. It looks like we're amateur hours over here, but that's the way college football is. It never ceases to disappoint people. And this week was full of disappointments, full of crazy outcomes, a shocker and record game, and just some oddball stuff that you wouldn't think would have happened that end up turning out to be just mind-boggling. That's how this weekend turned out to be. But before we get into that, as always, I'm joined with my co-hosts Jaden and Cody.
Yay.
Yeah.
Glad we watched week 3.
They're obviously super excited to be doing this podcast as I am. I've still not finished, drying my eyes after that weekend. But
Never mind. I'll save it for later. But
yeah, we'll get into certain spots of the games that we just
I'm actually disappointed in the SEC as a whole.
I am
But
too.
moving on.
And we'll get to those subjects, but we're going to start with recap. So if you didn't watch all the games or know what all the scores are, we're going to recap the top 25 and see where everybody kind of shook up and see how far off we were. I can't remember who all we picked, but just basing off of what teams played, I could probably guess who we picked.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
so.
Looking at it, I'll probably be able to remember, but the scores probably not. I was in a lot of the 42 and 35 ranges last time, but
I think we were
I don't
way
know.
off on a lot of those, and just this weekend, I don't know what happened with college football, but it was heartbreaking to see a lot of games go the way they were. So
Yeah.
let's start it off. We'll go from the bottom of the list. I pulled up my page here, and if Cody and Jaden's looking at the same page, I'm gonna start
Yeah, I
at
got it.
Iowa down there, the Iowa game, number 25. I actually didn't expect them to pull out as big of a win as they did, but it was 41-10 versus Western Michigan, and they came out
Yeah,
a little soft and finished hard. I mean, they didn't do anything in the first quarter, and then after that they just piled on them.
Yeah. 41-10.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to be as much as it did, as much as it was, but hey, they gave a good reason why they're in the top 25.
Oh, for sure. 41-10. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, what, McNamara, sorry. 9 and 19, 103 yards.
I mean, it was
2
definitely
2 interceptions. Oh no.
Yeah.
Not good.
Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty much what you expect, I guess. We kind of clowned on Iowa a little bit, but
Yeah, like
I really don't have anything to say about this game.
going from being there in the top 25 to leaving and then coming back, and as we'll see in the new AP polls, they're not going anywhere. So yeah, not much to say about it. They did their job like they were supposed to.
We were correct on they won, I guess. I don't remember the scores we picked.
Yeah, I think we.
It
picked
wasn't as
Iowa.
high as this, I don't think.
No. But moving on, we've got number 24 UCLA versus North Carolina Central, 59-7. UCLA won this one.
No.
They scored 35 points in the first quarter. That's crazy.
Must be nice.
5 points.
35 points in the first quarter. That's mind-boggling. like was there even another team on the field?
There was I guess in the fourth quarter there was, but that's about the only time.
I mean, 35 points in the first quarter.
How did they not score at all in the
59
fourth?
to 59
They
seconds.
probably had their fifth string in at that point.
Yeah, you're not wrong, actually.
I mean, if you scored 35
I
points on a
mean,
team in the first quarter,
yeah,
you had to put in the crowd at that point to play.
they sort of balled out.
Yeah,
I
They
mean,
did. They pretty
Moore,
much run the
182
field.
yards, 2 touchdowns.
that is.
Adkins, 10 carries, 96 yards. It's
Although they
about
did
10
have
yards a
less
carry.
time of possession. They
I
only had
mean,
23.
yeah, they
Yeah.
scored about 55 times every second, apparently.
They didn't need the time. They just scored. They picked the ball up and scored. Picked the ball up, scored. That's all they did. That was crazy.
They're very efficient. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be 59-7, but I think I did pick like 42 or
Yeah, I think I had a
something
pretty
on
wide
this
spread
game.
on this one too. But yeah, that's
Good job
They did.
beating North
they did their
Carolina.
job. These first 3 games, they did the job that they were supposed to. The next game, we had number 23 Washington State play Northern Colorado 64-21.
Oh, man.
22 points
Cameron
in the
Ward
first,
balled out.
21 points in the second, 14 in the third, and 7 in the fourth. I mean,
They went. Wait, that leads me to believe that they went for a 2-point conversion in the first quarter.
well, I'm sure.
They actually go for 2 in the first quarter. Hey, that's all I'm saying. 22, you just don't see it that often. But yeah, Cameron Ward balled out 327 yards with 4 touchdowns. That's crazy.
I mean, they did their job.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this game either. They just
I think I had a pretty wide spread on
mollywopped
this
them.
one.
I did too. I think I picked 42 for them again.
I don't think I gave
I
Northern
think I
Colorado
picked 427
21,
or
though.
something.
Yeah, I don't think I gave
No,
them
I didn't
21.
either. I gave him a measly touchdown, I think. Oh, excuse me. I think.
We're going to start writing these down. We're not doing our due
Yeah,
diligence.
I'm going to have to start taking notes.
Next week, we need to figure out what we picked and stuff. That way we can.
Because I'll try to like go back and re-listen a little bit, but that's like almost 2 hours of just sitting there listening to stuff we've already talked about.
Yeah.
So
usually
I
right
rewatched
after
like the first 2. Yeah,
after
I
all the
watched the first
disappointment.
2 all the way through, but after the first 2, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So yeah, we'll have to
You
keep.
mean you
tabs.
re-listen to all our wonderful podcasts because they're so amazing?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I listened to all of them because it's that good.
Don't put us down that much. All right, so let's move on.
I'm not putting us down.
We have number 21 Duke versus Northwestern. Duke put 38-14 on them. It looked like a pretty even game throughout most of them. Northwestern did put 14. I mean, 38's not a huge score, but it's a reasonable score. So
Yeah, the third
That's
quarter
pretty
hurt 'em.
good. That's enough.
Third quarter
definitely. Don't
really
get me
hurt
wrong.
Northwestern.
I'm not, putting or taking anything away from Duke. It's just not like a 64 like Washington State or 35 points in the first quarter with UCLA. So, but
Yeah.
so
It's not like Northwestern's entirely bad.
no, not at
but
all.
I think they're a Big Ten team as well, so I believe so. I don't think
Yeah.
they're an ACC team, but yeah, again, this is going to be a recurring theme. I just don't have much to say about these games. That sucks to say. That's not very, in depth, but 219 yards from Leonard, QB Duke. He didn't even throw a touchdown.
No.
He ran for 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And Jay Calhoun, wide receiver from Duke, 5 receptions, 112 yards. So
I mean, they did throw a little bit, but no scoring. Throwing.
This was Leonard's game, apparently.
Yeah.
This was Leonard's game. But yeah, 30. I don't know what I picked. I picked Duke, but I don't know if I had 38-14. I think I put 35, maybe. I guess I don't know. Maybe it was close, but
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right, now we have number 20 North Carolina versus Minnesota, 31-13. North Carolina pulled that one. And I want to say, seems like one of y'all picked Minnesota for this one, but I could have been wrong.
I did not.
Maybe I was.
I don't think I did.
Maybe
I
was
think
wrong
we
on
all
that one.
actually picked UNC, I believe.
Okay.
We picked Unk. We picked good old Unk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
I think I had this around the same score, to be honest. I actually think it was 35-7, 35-14 or something like that. Maybe 42, but I believe, yeah.
they did their
Yeah, I
job.
believe they did with the 2 interceptions though from what, Drake May? Is that his name? I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It because I'm just looking at it and it says D May. Drake May, yeah. Yeah, that could be better. You had the same amount of touchdowns as you did interceptions. That's not good. So anyway, that could have been better. But hey, everyone was getting the rock, man, apparently, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 414
For
yards.
414.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good. Can't
that's pretty good.
bat your
I'm
eyes
not
at that
clowning
one.
them on that,
No.
but two interceptions, I am gonna have to take some brownie points away because really, you threw 2 touchdowns, but you then gave over the ball twice. Not good.
No.
No goody. But anyway,
All right, moving
Good job.
on to number 19, Oklahoma versus Tulsa, 66-17.
wow, this was a
I
42-7 pick for me, I believe,
think you're
for
right.
Yeah.
sure. I picked Oklahoma, of course, we all did, but that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. 421 yards.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone was getting the ball,
Five
man.
touchdowns. Of course, 1 interception.
Running back for a touchdown. Barnes, Farouk had 126 receiving yards with 6 receptions and a touchdown. And Gabriel, QB from Oklahoma, 5 touchdowns, 421
421
smackaroo yards,
That's pretty
5
good.
touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Yeah, I mean,
It would have been a perfect game
yeah,
almost if you didn't throw an
definitely.
interception.
No.
Crazy game.
But anyway,
All
it was
right.
a good game. Yeah, I have not much to say.
And here's
Oh,
probably the
wow.
game of the week for a lot of people that
Yeah,
have been
this
following this.
Mm.
Number 18,
this is game of the
Colorado versus Colorado State.
me and Cody watched this game live together.
I did fall asleep on this one, so but I did,
It
catch a
went on
recap.
forever. I think it went
double
till
overtime,
Yep.
and
For
it
us,
was
it went to,
crazy.
like,
Yeah, it was
3 in
almost
the
3
morning.
in the morning, dude. We watched this
for
game.
our,
It was like
for our
2
time
something.
zone.
Yeah, since they're like on the western coast-ish area, that western, but Pacific Standard Time. I believe
No.
Colorado is in Pacific Standard
I think
Time.
you're right.
So they're like what, 3 hours behind?
Something like that.
Yeah, they're 3 hours behind us. So I watched this game after the Tennessee game immediately.
Yep.
They aired it right after it. Let me tell you something. This was an insane game.
Almost an upset
Um,
game.
It was.
Well, this is a
Very
huge
close.
rivalry. This is a huge
Yeah, it's an
rivalry.
interstate rivalry. I'm all for, sometimes I said this before, talking your stuff, but I believe. Oh man, I don't like the putting the hands in people's face masks after a
Oh,
play.
yeah.
I just can't. I can't. I told Cody, I was like, man, if Shador Sanders put his fingers and dwaddled them in my face mask, I would have ripped my head down and broke all of his fingers off his hand. I swear. I was like, I wouldn't have handled that, dude. Now that one dude, I don't remember his name, number 11, dirty hit on Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
It was already a PI call. It was already oh man, it was bad. Me and Cody was like, he got blasted. And Cody came out and said, what? He had a lacerated liver?
Yeah.
And they played him
laceration of his
again
liver.
earlier in the game.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They played him another down. I was like, how is he not dead?
And then
How
he
do
went to
you-
the hospital.
How do you get a lacerated liver? Like, he has to have internal bleeding after that, right?
Oh yeah.
No.
No?
Oh, I would say so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought you said no, Cody. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no,
what?
no.
No.
Oh. Now, me and
Yeah,
Cody
it's a
thought his
laceration.
ribs are broke or something at
Yeah.
least.
I
He
mean,
had
it
like
looked
broken
like he had
ribs.
bruised ribs, broken
Bruised ribs,
ribs.
the at bare minimum, but lacerated, that's an organ injury. That's bad. That's bad, man. Like, bones is something else. Like, you can get over that, but man,
He's gonna be
liver.
out for quite some time.
Wait,
I
that was
think.
a
3
liver.
weeks.
How
3
was that a
weeks.
lacerated liver?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
I thought
Which
the liver
means he
was on the
will
right
be-
side of your body.
It's near the back of your body, but yeah. I mean,
Well, you know
whenever
what
he
I mean?
went
Because like
down-
if you're watching boxing and they throw the left hook on the right side, that's called a liver punch, and it shuts your body down entirely. like
It
on that
can,
side.
yeah.
So how did he get hit on the left side and suffer a lacerated liver? How does that make any sense?
I mean, it happened. I don't know.
I don't know.
It
It
happened.
probably could have been somewhere in the middle area. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but it looked like he got hit on the left side of his ribs, and I thought that's what broke. But enough dwindling
Yeah.
on that. Yeah, Travis Hunter got destroyed on a
Yeah,
late hit
he
call
did.
or unnecessary roughness they gave him.
Yeah,
Pretty
he will be
bad.
put out of the game for 3 weeks, which arguably is probably
Ugh.
some of the hardest games that they're going to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad. This ain't gonna be good. But actually, I'm gonna be honest. Me and Cody talked about this. I was like, I don't think they beat Oregon next week.
I don't
Not
think
with the
so
I don't think
talent.
so.
Not with the talent they've lost of Travis Hunter. I think they lost a couple other people too from other. Maybe it was just for out of the game that week. Like they got hurt during Colorado State and they just didn't play for the rest of the game. I don't think it's like they're out for the rest of the season injury or nothing. But from what I saw, they were sloppy, even though it was a great game. It did good.
Yeah.
It's
It was a
just
good game.
wow.
I think there were a couple calls that are a little bit debatable though. But overall it was a pretty good game.
There was another illegal blindside block this game as well.
Mhm.
But and also an illegal touching or something this game. And then there was an illegal blocking, I think, where it was a below the waist block you couldn't
Like a
do
chop block.
or something. Yeah, it was something like
Yeah.
that, but they didn't say. Yeah, it's probably called a chop block, but it was like illegal block or something. I don't remember the penalty they said. But yeah, this game was crazy. Double overtime. I wanted it to end.
Double overtime,
And
43 to 35.
I hate to say it, but I wanted Colorado State to win just to see what Colorado would do next. But they didn't. Good job, Colorado. I'm not praying on your downfall. I promise. I
No,
promise I'm
it's
not.
coming though. It's
I'm
coming.
just
Coach
saying I
Prime
want
will
to
live
know.
till next week.
I just want to know what you do when your backs are against the wall because you're going up against what rank is Oregon right now?
Well,
13th?
11? Oh, I thought it was 11th.
No, they're 13th. We were 11th.
No, they're 10th.
No.
Not
they're
they
10th.
were, as what I'm saying. They were 13th. They're not now.
Worth it.
Oh, they were
Yeah.
13. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm talking. We're still going over the recap, but yeah, they'll be 10th. Yeah, I don't think they beat Oregon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Don't
either.
think they beat South Carolina.
What? Colorado plays South Carolina?
Yep.
Do they really?
That's right after the Oregon game too.
You mean USC?
yeah.
You mean
Was it not South Carolina? Oh, I
that's
looked at
Southern
the wrong one.
California.
Southern California. Whatever.
Anyway, yes, this game was wild. Not much to say
Yeah.
else about it, but good job, Colorado. Double overtime win, and that's it.
All right, moving on to number 17, Ole Miss versus Georgia Tech. I mean, I don't think anybody thought that was going to go any other way than what it did, 48-23. Ole Miss with the win. I think we probably gave them about the same, about different spread there. I mean,
Yeah, I think I picked like 35 or something for them.
Ole Miss handled their
Thereabouts.
business. That's probably one of the only couple
Yeah.
SEC teams that did so what they were supposed to do. Let's go ahead and dog through this next one here. Number 16, Oregon State versus San Diego State, 26-9.
I thought it would have been higher than that,
I did too.
Yeah.
but Oregon State's quarterback did throw more interceptions than touchdowns, so
That he did.
I could see why it probably went as bad as it did. So Oregon State played, I think, a little sloppily. I mean, look at the score: 3 in the first quarter, 9 in the second, 7 and 7, third and the fourth quarter. So
Yeah.
you could have done better, Oregon State. Could have done better. I have nothing else to say, but I'm disappointing game actually from Oregon State.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a recurring theme as well for the
number
rest of this week.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so here's an upset.
A
which-
great game,
which,
also.
yeah,
Great game.
and a best of. So we had number 15 Kansas State go up against Missouri and almost went into overtime.
Yeah,
And
but
the old boy
Buddy
pulled
with the
over
boot.
a 60
Buddy with the old 61 yards.
yard
Yeah.
field goal, the longest
Longest.
field goal. That is
In
crazy.
SEC history.
Yeah, 61 yards. I mean, that boy had a leg on him. I mean, I was watching NFL games yesterday, and I was like, these guys are afraid to, kick it at the 45.
Melvis. That's his name. I wanted to
And-
show him some respect.
And
Go ahead,
this
Dustin.
dude kicked a 61-yard field goal with the game on the line to win the game. I
Mhm.
mean,
If he has a
that
boot
is
like that, man, he
crazy.
could be like another Justin Tucker, man.
You know,
Justin
it's
Tucker was
crazy
the
to
best
think.
kicker in the NFL.
He had room to spare too, because he hit about middle of the post.
Oh yeah, he probably had at
he
least
had
dead
room to
65.
spare.
I say he could probably
Yeah.
kick a 65. I mean, that was crazy. I mean, absolutely insane ending to a game that was back and
Against
forth.
Kansas State, they don't like each other.
No.
You know, ranked 15th Kansas State. They're no longer ranked. I
And
think
it's-
we all picked Kansas State for this game, but
I
Missouri
think so too.
upset them.
And it's kind of weird to say that Mizzou did what they were supposed to do and win the game for SEC. It's just weird to give them props. It's almost like saying something good about Vandy. It's kind of hard for an SEC person to say that about.
It's
one
hard
of
to
those
imagine
teams.
Mizzou doing this. Is all we're
Yeah,
saying.
it's just weird.
Mhm.
Strange, but crazy finish. If you get a chance, check out that
Watch
kick.
the highlights.
Watch
Yeah.
that kick is crazy.
Mhm.
And if you know who Justin Tucker is, you'll be like, he could be the next Justin Tucker. That's all I'm saying. Because Justin Tucker had a boot. I think he could kick past 65 yards almost. Maybe he was
Crazy
crazy, but yeah. Good job, Missouri.
Another insane kick for this year
Yep.
that wins the game.
All right, moving on to number 14 LSU versus Mississippi State, 41-14. LSU's looking better after that first
Oh yeah.
loss that they took, and I've seen this posted all day today, and people are saying LSU can go all the way. I just don't know if I'm gonna give them that much props just yet.
Have they gotten a lot of their stuff together since Florida State loss? Absolutely. 100%. But I think we all picked LSU this game. I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe I don't know. I think we picked this game to be closer, I believe, did we not?
Maybe, but I mean,
Or was it? I don't remember.
Though.
Well, I'm not going to try to dwell on the scores that anymore. But I think we picked LSU, but 41-14. I thought Mississippi State would, put up a little bit more of a fight, but I guess LSU dominated. Jaden Daniels played all right, 2 touchdowns. I won't say all right. He played good. 361 yards, 2 touchdowns,
I mean,
Neighbors, crazy, 239, 50 or 13 receptions, 2 touchdowns. So yeah, they
did what
they
were
did
supposed
handle
to
their
do.
business.
Yeah, and that puts them 1-0 in the conference. So
yeah, they're undefeated conference so far.
yeah, so they did their job. But will they go all the way? I don't know. I mean, if you look at this week, probably. But
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do is like, as of now, LSU wins it all or something. It's like,
Yeah.
no,
we
I don't
just
know.
don't know what that's going to be like. I mean,
We play them. No, we don't play them this year. It's Texas A&M. Sorry.
yeah. So
Who else do they play this year? Let's see.
Who LSU?
Yeah, they play. I believe they play Arkansas next. Yeah, they play Arkansas,
That's an SEC game.
Mississippi, and then Missouri.
Okay, that's all
Auburn.
conference. That's also a
Yeah.
conference game.
Yep, Alabama.
That's
Florida.
also a conference game. Also a conference game.
They play a lot of conference.
Yeah, the
games.
mid-season is pretty much conference games back to back for most of SEC teams
yeah,
because that's your main games. Like conference games.
They do
but-
play the Army eventually.
I think they got a gauntlet to go through. Once they start
So
going
do
through this
we.
gauntlet, well, yeah, but once they start going through a gauntlet, I'll then may change my mind one way or another.
Yeah,
but
we'll have
right
to
now,
see
we
when
just
they
don't
play
know.
against whoever.
After Ole Miss and probably Alabama, we'll know for sure. I'd say.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 13, Oregon versus Hawaii, 55-10. I mean, did anybody think it was going to go any other way?
No,
Probably not. I would
I
like to go
figured
back
this.
and look at some of those highlights for Oregon to see where they'll be next week with Colorado.
We can
though.
do that after this when we get
Yeah.
done talking. We'll all review some stuff.
Yeah, because,
but-
I mean, without going into our, next episode's picks
which will
anyways.
be probably what, Thursday if we don't do
Yeah.
another one.
No.
So we'll do a Thursday kind of, and we may do another podcast in between that because there's some of the talking points that's getting ready to come up, and I don't know if I want to dwell on it for as long as I need to, because there was
Yeah.
a lot of things that need to be talked about.
It's a
but-
big rant, but
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Oregon, good job. You did what you needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody thought it was going to be any other way.
Nah.
All right, number 12, Utah versus Weber State, 31-7. I don't think anybody thought it was going to
mean,
be any different either.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
that was
pretty-
about right. I
Yeah.
gave him
That's pretty
35 or
regulation.
42. Yeah, I have nothing to say. We can just
Yeah.
probably blow past this. Good job, Utah. That's it, I guess.
No.
All right, here's one. I'm going to try to keep myself from not ranting. If we'll do another episode in depth in depth talking about this game.
He's
and
already messing
Oh,
his words
yeah.
up.
Yeah,
He's so
I'm-
He's
upset.
already choking.
I will say,
He's choking up.
I will say, just off of this is what I feel about this game.
Oh no! We suck again!
That's how I feel about this game right now. Because Tennessee and Florida, 29-16. Florida beats us just like I said, I'm gonna not try to rant about it. I'm not gonna try to rant about
I
it.
will say, and this will actually be my only talking point about this game, is that you have to give roses, you have to give credit to where credit is due. Florida came out and played totally different than they did against anyone else this season. They
Yeah.
played better ball. They improved their game.
Yeah.
Tennessee can't beat Florida themselves. Tennessee can't beat Florida themselves and the refs too. And I'm not saying the refs totally sold the game, but let me tell you, yeah, the refs were kind of weird. I'm gonna be honest. All right.
Yeah, they.
And I'm not sulking. I'm not coping. I don't know how you can get an illegal blindside block when you're literally in front of the guy. I guess if you just turn your head and get blocked, it's an illegal blindside. So that makes no sense.
right, let's
I
not
guess the
rant.
ref can kick the ball, and
Yeah, let's not rant about this. We'll talk about this on another episode because there's plenty enough to talk about.
we sucked.
this.
That's all you gotta say.
Yeah,
We sucked.
That little thing I put, little clip that from Waterboy, it says it all right there. But Florida beats us 29-16. Moving on. Whew. In this game, number 10 Alabama versus South Florida, 17-3.
This is more disappointing than our game, I think.
Yeah.
They were losing in the first quarter, went tied into halftime. Tied with South Florida at halftime, 3-3.
Until they finally got 2 touchdowns in the last half, which
Yeah,
was in 2
two.
different quarters, mind you.
2.
2 different quarters.
It's either
Not in
South
the same
Florida
quarter.
is busted or Alabama is falling through the ranks.
What is
I
going
mean-
on with Alabama?
They're not the only ones, man,
No,
I
but
mean,
South
And South
Florida.
Florida
that's
threw
bad.
an interception.
that's
I-
bad.
They threw an interception.
I don't
They,
understand.
I think that
South
might
Florida
have been
came
the
with
winning-
defense, but Alabama's having quarterback problems. They've
Yeah,
been
they've-
going through a bunch of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think they
There's a
said
lot of
that
turmoil.
Was it Jalen Milroe? I believe
Yeah,
is now their
he
starting
is.
quarterback.
Again, they
Yep,
just
go
swapped
ahead.
him off.
Yeah, they're starting him again.
Why?
They tried like 3
So you're
different
sitting there telling
quarterbacks.
me the coaching staff sits there and Jalen Milroe's an experience, and they play that other dude. I don't remember his name. They play 2 other people, and they was like, "Yeah, this guy will be our starter." And now it's back to Jalen Milroe.
No.
I guess whatever. I
Yeah,
mean, hey,
I don't know what's going on down there in Alabama, but they need to figure it out when you're only beating South
That's
Florida
bad.
17-3. That's
mean,
not handling
that
your
ain't good.
business. That's bad. That's Vandy bad right there.
that's worse than our game, I believe.
No.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean that
Like this, no one expected this.
it blows my mind.
Sad day for
Yeah.
Alabama.
All right,
Sad
moving
day for a
on.
lot of SEC teams.
Number 9, Notre Dame versus Central Michigan, 41-17.
Yeah, it was
Notre
around what
Dame
I thought.
is actually showing pretty good things this year. I've been kind of impressed with their gameplay. It'd be interesting where they end up by the end of the year. Really is interesting to see how they play. But they've been doing good. I see them to continue doing good, and I'm not surprised by this outcome whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not either.
No.
They
I'm not
They
at all.
played Notre Dame football, I guess
Yep.
you can say.
All right,
Yep,
number
they
8,
did.
Washington versus Michigan State, 41-7. Same concept, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they did what they were supposed to do.
Washington and Michael Penix is crazy. Okay. Michael
Yeah.
Penix Jr., quarterback for
400
Washington, crazy.
473 yards.
473 yards. Yeah.
4 touchdowns, crazy game. Washington, I think, can be deadly. I think they'll be deadly this year if they keep playing like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Yep.
did their job.
Yep, they did what they were supposed to. Number 7, Penn State versus Illinois, 30-13. I mean, another one. I don't think for me went. I mean, it was a conference game, Big Ten conference game. I don't think they.
Penn State
my
did
opinion.
play and win, but you know, I don't know.
I mean, it says right here, Penn State defense gets 5 takeaways and pulls away from
That's
Illinois'
good.
30-13
If their
victory.
defense is that good, then hey,
Yeah.
good job on your defense. I'm not worried about the score. It's just, you know,
The defense.
Penn State
doesn't
has a lot of
score
people to play
usually.
in their conference, and if the Big Ten can be rough sometimes, but
Well, that's true.
good job, Penn State. Yeah, I have nothing to say.
All right, then we got number 6, Ohio State versus Western Kentucky, 63-10. Ohio State
Yeah.
finally showed that they were going to play some ball this year.
Yeah, they actually showed what they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary.
Well, it
it's
took
not like
them
we play 'em.
3 weeks,
Look, I've lost all hope for the rest of the football season for Tennessee. I'm not worried about what we end up anymore. I'm not. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm saying scary for other teams.
Scared for Big Ten conference, I guess you can say, but this is Western Kentucky, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, 63 points is crazy, but good job. You played OSU football finally.
I mean, they put 35 points in the second quarter on them, so.
They put,
It's good.
let's see, 42 in the first half, I guess that would be.
Yep.
Yep.
And 21 in the second half.
I mean, that's crazy.
Pretty insane, actually.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say.
Yeah. I was reading this little thing about them, but yeah, they finally showed up. They finally did what they were supposed to. All right, number 4, Texas versus Wyoming, 31-10. Not as
This was
big
an
of a
interesting
win
game as
as
well.
I thought.
They struggled a bit.
Yeah,
They did.
especially in the first
They
quarter.
did struggle a bit.
They seem like
For a
they
team that beats
They
Alabama.
struggled the first half.
well.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was 10-7.
I don't know what happened
the
in
second
that
first
game.
half.
In
with-
fourth quarter, though, I mean, they kind of pulled it in the second half.
They
21
did, they
points
did.
in the second half is pretty good.
I mean,
So-
come on, Texas. You can't be ranked 4th and beat Alabama, and you struggled this bad against Wyoming. You can't do that, all right?
No, and
But hey.
I wonder what happened in that Texas Alabama game because Alabama, you see, we talked about what they happened to them, and Texas
Just is
coming out kind of
Alabama
weak too.
fallen and see, this is the problem I have. Is Alabama just fallen and Texas just was the better football team, or is Texas like this new powerhouse? People are acknowledging that they're a good team, pretty much better than Bama apparently since they beat them, But I mean, it has to be true. Alabama can't even beat USF, man.
Well, Texas they're not short on QBs. They've got talent in that
No.
QB slot.
They have depth all day.
Alabama's having trouble with their depth, which used to not. That's a weird thing to say for
Yeah, their
Alabama.
defense is weird too.
Yeah.
Defense ain't acting right. But anyway, good job, Texas. I mean, we all thought you could do it.
Good
so.
pick six.
And here's a
Yeah.
Good pick six.
Yeah. Here's another disappointing game for what should have been different. Number 3, Florida State and Boston College, 31-29.
Yeah, that was a very close game.
I mean,
very like
it
too
shouldn't have been.
close.
It should
some might
not
even
have
say.
been.
It
On
shouldn't have been,
paper,
no.
on paper,
yeah.
you're right. But I'm telling you, man, I didn't say anything the last time we talked, but Boston College has always been a good defensively team. I didn't say it just because I didn't want Cody to be like again. I don't always talk about Florida State all day again, like you did with Texas Tech. But Boston College has always been pretty decent. But not to go all the way, of course. But I kind of figured this was going to happen to Florida State. But I knew Florida State would come out. I didn't think it would be either way. I thought it would be close, but not this close. I thought it would be like a score or two. Florida State wins, but no, this is like 2 points or a field goal, 2 points to tie the game, like getting a safety type of deal, and then
Yeah.
just kicking a field goal to win the game. But yeah, Florida State struggled.
Big time.
They struggled. So I don't know.
Defensively, big time in the fourth.
Is Florida State gonna do it this year? I don't know. They might.
They struggled. I mean, it's just odd. All right.
Good job,
moving-
Boston College.
Yeah.
Good
so
job.
You put up a fight. Number 2, Michigan versus Bowling Green, 31-6. Now Michigan's been taking care of business, but I don't think they did as big of a job on this one. But we did talk
Lesser
about
points
this.
scored.
Yeah,
they put up some numbers.
they have been cycling through their players, so I wonder if this was just another game where they're just like trying different people out.
Yeah, they are building up depth just
Yeah.
by getting backups to play the game.
And that,
So like everyone's like, "Wow, Michigan kind of sucks." It's like, no, they're just not playing their starters all year or all game long. Otherwise, it'd be like 63-6, I believe.
I honestly think when it comes to it, and we'll have this pick when it comes down the road, but when it goes to Michigan, Ohio, I think Michigan will pull it out. I mean, they've got the depth where they need it, and they're a dangerous
Oh yeah,
team
Michigan,
this year.
I think beats Ohio State this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Bowling Green didn't even stand a chance.
No,
All right,
They got
we already talked about the Miami,
Bethune game.
last episode.
Bethune was crazy, man.
So we'll talk about this last game. Bethune.
it.
It's a weird name to even have. Number 1, Georgia versus South Carolina.
This game was also incredibly close. Too close for Georgia fans, which was interesting because they
South
were making fun of us
Carolina.
for losing to South Carolina last year.
South Carolina went into the half ahead of Georgia.
By 2 touchdowns.
POV, you're a Georgia fan, but we won though. But we won though.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry,
You're the
I know.
number 1
That's
team
exactly.
in the nation, and you go into
I'm
the
not-
half
And
losing to South Carolina, a
I
one.
know-
Unranked team.
I know what I did sounds toxic, but dude, I'm sorry. You
Yeah.
can't be doing that.
Nope.
You can't clown on us and then do this. So South Carolina better than whatever else thinks they are, or you
can't
just suck
only
now,
beat-
Georgia?
South Carolina by 10 points.
I've been saying it, and I've been saying all these past 3 weeks, Georgia is beatable. They want to say they're not. They want to say they're the dynasty now, but they've shown these past 3 weeks that Georgia has issues, and they're exploitable. And South Carolina was exploiting that in the first half.
I'm gonna say it. I don't think Carson Beck's a bad quarterback, but he is not a replacement for Stetson Bennett. I
Nope.
said it.
No,
Not at all.
He can't do it. He just can't. Now, if he could prove me wrong, and that'd be great, but he's just not. He's just not Bennett, man.
Spencer Rattler
sorry.
had the game of his life in that first quarter. I mean,
He
it was
did. He played
the
crazy.
First half, I mean, it was crazy. He was
He
dogging
is a
on
Heisman
Georgia.
runner-up, I believe, too.
And yes, I did say dogging because I hate Georgia so much now, but they deserved.
It's only because of the way they're acting.
Yeah, they deserve.
And
to
that's
be
scary
clowned
for
on.
us because for week 5 is we play South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Tennessee plays South Carolina. So, on week 5. So, I mean,
Well, I don't see us beating
that's kind of spooky.
anybody else this year, but you know,
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true, but I honestly think the swamp got Tennessee. I think the crowd got to
Yeah.
him. I think
A little too much for some people.
Joe Milton got a little. He does what Joe Milton does. You don't have to explain that.
yeah, we'll explain
shot
that
him-
in the next episode that we do.
But we just to get it over with, we just can't beat Florida, ourselves, and the refs at the same time. So there you go. That's
but
it. That's all I'm gonna
as
say.
far as Georgia and South Carolina, Georgia, if you want to stay in that number 1 spot, you need to do something different because that right there
Disappointing.
is not a number 1 team showcase right there. That is really bad to see you going in the half down 14-3. I've said it and I said it again. They are beatable, and I don't think they win the championship this year playing like they are now.
Nope. And I've said this before, and I've talked about it, and I'm in this group chat because this is also what an AP review as well. So we have to get to that
Yeah.
a little bit too for the new rankings since we just went through the recap of the games. But I'm in a group chat with some other friends about football, about the Florida game, and I wanted to save this a little bit till the next thing we talk about, just to Tennessee and Florida game next. But apparently Florida is gonna go all the way. They're gonna win the East and they're gonna win the conference. And I'm like, and I said that in the chat. That's what someone put in the chat, in my group chat I'm in. I was like, you honestly think, yeah, as of now, Georgia and Alabama are very beatable. 100%. I mean, look at what they did. They're not playing good. They're sucking right now. 100%. But do you honestly think by week, I don't know, 9, near the end of the season, whatever it is, that Georgia will be the same Georgia they are now
Maybe not.
than they were? No, that's why I'm thinking I don't think Georgia will play the way they play like against South Carolina in like week 9 or something. That's too much time. That's too much games. There's too many practices they've played to not improve. And again, they may not. They may not. They may just not be good. But that's usually how it goes. Some people have a rough start to the season, and by the end of the season, it's like they're a totally different team. They play better, and that just goes through experience. So I sat there and said, I don't believe Florida wins the East. I don't even believe they win the conference. I don't believe that. Okay, I don't believe that. But let's just stop the delusion for a second. Let's not. Tennessee was not the. I get it. It was a big game. It was a make or break for Bill Napier, and I think it was a make or break for Milton, but hey, whatever. Tennessee's not the obstacle Florida has to face right now.
No, there's a lot more on
It's
their
LSU down the road.
Yep.
It's Georgia down the road. It's a bunch of other people down the road. It's just beating us ain't nothing. I could have told you Florida was going to beat us after the first 2 games of the season. And I did. I said we would lose, and what? We lost. There you go. That's it. That's all I have to say.
I know you want to rant on this, but let's move on to the AP.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to. I'm just.
I know, but I mean, it was a tough game. Okay, let's go to the AP top 25. And as you can tell, we're just upset about this, but Florida has moved up in that 25th spot. So now they went from unranked to ranked. They've secured that 25th spot.
It's annoying.
It is annoying.
But it's deserved. It's warranted, I guess.
So
for Iowa.
Iowa actually moves up to number 24.
Yeah.
I sure.
So, hey, they handled their business.
True.
So they've
Iowa secured that spot a little bit higher.
Will they stay there? I don't know, but they're here. They're here for another week. So, all right, here's the disappointment. We moved down 12 spots.
12
to 23.
spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tennessee's down to 23, and be honest with you, after what I saw, I didn't expect to be in the top 25. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I thought after that last game that we wouldn't be talking about Tennessee next week, but I guess we'll be talking about them again in this next upcoming game, and we'll see how it goes. But they have moved us down to 23 and boosted up UCLA 2 spots to 22.
Yep.
Washington State 2 spots to 21. Miami jumps up 2 spots to 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but okay. Number 19, Colorado actually moved down a spot. And I know people are going to say, well, they, came, it was a double overtime versus an unranked team, but it was a double overtime to an unranked team that was a huge rival.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really want to? I mean, they pulled out the win, and I get there's bigger teams ahead of them, but I don't know. Do they deserve to lose a spot? I don't know.
I think they should have stayed where they were at. honestly.
Yeah, I do too. I think they were fine where they were at. I don't know if they needed to drop a spot. Duke comes up 3 spots to 18.
That's warranted.
Yeah. UNC moves up to 17, 3 spots. A lot of these are just moving up because of Tennessee's humongous drop.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, number 16, 3 spots. Ole Miss, 2 spots up at 15. Oregon State, 2 spots up at 14. Which, yeah, see, there you go, right there. That's where you go. Wait, Oregon State probably should have performed better in their game. Do they really deserve to go up 2 spots when Colorado just went down 1 for a huge rival? I don't know. Alabama dropped 3 spots. Honestly, I think they deserve to drop a lot more. You almost lost to a nobody. That's crazy. LSU up 2 spots at 12. Utah up a spot at 11. Oregon up 3 spots at 10. Now we're getting.
And then from 9. Oh wait, never mind. Go ahead.
From 9 to 5 are all the same.
They don't change.
Yeah,
Notre
Notre
Dame,
Dame,
Washington, Penn
yep.
State, Ohio State, USC did not change.
And then Florida State loses a spot. They actually Texas and Florida switch. Florida State goes to 4. Texas goes to 3. Michigan at 2. And I don't know if I was talking to a couple people about this, and I think I've talked to Jaden about this.
We talked about that, yep.
Yeah, I don't think Georgia deserves that 1 spot after that game.
No, not at all.
You dropped them out of that number 1 spot.
I agree. And I'm with you guys, like I'm not discrediting it, but I actually think the only reason, and this ain't because I agree with them either, I'm just saying I think the only reason they did this is because that was a conference game. And since even though they struggled and Georgia beat this conference game, won this conference game, and they kept them there because Michigan literally played in nobody. And I said that to Dustin O. I was like, at that point, you would have to give like number 1 spots out to everyone that's like undefeated, even though they played nobody. So I'm assuming it's just off the strength of this game they played is why they stayed. Even though I believe Michigan and Georgia should have swapped because Georgia, being this reigning national championship team, shouldn't have played like that against South Carolina. So
no, but
I agree with what Dustin and Cody are saying.
I would say also look at history of the past 3 games, not just this past one. But Michigan's performed better than Georgia has the past 3 games. Put them in that number 1 spot over Georgia. And if Georgia gets mad about it and comes out and smacks the next opponent, good. Then they can move back up. But right now, they're not playing on the caliber that Michigan's playing right now. And I don't like Michigan. I'm not hyping them up. I'm just saying they're playing better than Georgia's playing right now.
Out of everyone in the season that I'm almost for certain about making it to the playoffs, I would almost think Michigan. They're pretty.
Oh yeah.
They're balanced, man. I don't know, like they're scary. They're scary.
I think
they were last year, except they were cut a little too short, unfortunately, by unfortunate circumstances. I guess is what I would blame it on.
But I never expected Texas to be top 3 this season whatsoever.
Not at the beginning of the year.
Nope.
I mean, not looking at the beginning of the year and saying, well, I wonder who's going to be the top 3 and then coming out week 4 polls and be like, oh, wait a minute. Texas is in the top 3? What? Florida State at 4? What? I mean, it's interesting. I'm very interested to see
I'm
how the
interested to
rest of the year
see.
goes.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 weeks down the road, where are we going to end up? You
Yeah.
know, Who
Way
will be
I just
teams
there?
want
are
to see how
playing.
we play after the UTSA game. And that's not saying much.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And all the other teams.
All right. I mean, we went through the recap. I mean, it's a shorter episode. We were kind of zipping through some of them because a lot of them were just and then we had some disappointments and some close calls. The most exciting thing, two most exciting games of the week, I guess, would be Mizzou winning by field goal, that 61-yard boot that he had, and then the
Yeah, that was a
Colorado game.
very- yeah.
Yeah,
Impressive.
and we're not trying to discredit Florida by no means, but
No, but we'll
it's
get into
just
that.
not
Yeah,
just not it.
and we'll get into that in another episode. But this is as of weeks go, crazy games. I mean, if you're an Alabama fan, you're crying right now because you only put 17 points on South Florida. If I was a Georgia fan, I wouldn't be cheering, "Hey, we beat South Carolina and you couldn't." I'd be like, "Well, yeah, you went into the half losing and you only put 24 on South Carolina. That's not something to cheer about when you're the number one team in the country. You're not showing yourself as the number one team. So there's nothing to cheer about on that either. So, I mean, there's some teams that you handled your business like you're supposed to, and good on you. You not got into y'all's conference plays like you're going to here. We'll see what happens when that starts shaking out. But yeah, just all over this week. Like last week was exciting, full of exciting games. This week was just
Meted
like,
our expectations.
yeah, this one way below expectations of what should have happened. I mean, I'm getting excited over Mizzou kicking a 61-yard field goal. That's how I feel right now.
There's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem. I mean, it's Mizzou. Come on. Anyways, that's about all I got to say on this matter.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, I think this week was definitely full of surprises, but I mean it's hard to see where the next following weeks will end up. To be honest with you,
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to like our episode on picking the next games. I don't know how we're going to do it.
it's going to be hard.
Yeah, because
It's going to be hard.
after this week, what we've seen out of all these teams, how can we honestly say, looking at stats or anything else, pick a definitive winner when you see something like Alabama performing the way they did, Georgia performing the way they did? I mean,
It's really hard to gauge these teams now
yeah,
after what we've seen this following week. Honestly,
so crazy. I don't know what we're going to do on this, but yeah. Interesting week, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't. Disappointment.
But that's college football for
Totally.
you. I mean, what can you
Yep.
say? College football does it to you. Some weeks you're super on cloud nine, and then one week will destroy a whole season for you. That's the way it usually goes. So,
Unfortunately.
y'all got anything else to say to wrap this up, or?
No, I'm
Yeah,
good.
I think this week is just. I think this week just takes the words from me. You know.
Yeah, right. I mean, our podcasts are usually 2 hours long, and we're going on like not even an hour right now because of the way this game or these games have panned. It's takes the steam right out of you.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I'm still disappointed. I'm in shock. Not really. I'm just. I don't know what we're doing, bro. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so I guess that's going to be it for us here on It's Football Time in college football. I can't even. Yeah, that's
It's football time
it's in
and
football time
foot.
and football. That's how just like bleh I am right now. We'll have another episode if these guys want to dive into this Tennessee Florida game in
I
depth,
mean, yeah, we
and
can. Yes.
we'll put that out for you before we do our picks. And I hope y'all will enjoy this podcast. Although we seem down, college football is known to get you right back up next week and dust you off and get your hopes back going. So we'll see what happens next week. But as for that, I'm Dustin.
I'm Jaden.
And I'm Cody.
And I'm Cody. It gets me every
It's like
time.
his thing now.
Yeah. And I'm Cody. And we'll catch you on the next episode.